Coming to you live from the 2605, deep in the nation's capital.
Hey, I'm not live.
As I said, coming to you live from the 2605. Please welcome the World According to KP podcast.
Yay!
God help us all.
Well, hi viewers, or should I say listeners. And some of you might be asking, why a podcast? Well, the reason is I love creating content. I really do. The biggest problem that I have is I can't stand my face. I can't stand looking at myself on camera. So, therefore, I think I've got a reasonable voice, so ugly face but reasonable voice, and so therefore I decided I'm going to try a podcast to create more content. The second thing that I want to talk about is what I'm doing with the channel. When I started this channel, it was all cooking with Evan, and Evan and I had a lot of fun doing that. We have got hours of outtakes, and in the future I might be putting up some of those outtakes up on the YouTube channel. We came up with a little formula, and it was always fun. I had to try and keep coming up with new recipes, and look, I've got thousands of recipes in my repertoire, but trying to organise things at real short notice, it was difficult, and that means having to go out and get the ingredients, having to make sure I've got everything prepped. When I say prepped, it means I've got to have things cut up. I've got to have everything done, and it was becoming difficult. The other thing with cooking with Evan is getting ready for high school, and with high school he needs more study. He's had to work really hard this year for next year, and work out where he's going in life. And I want the best for this kid. He's only my nephew. He's not my son. And look, he's a young kid, so yeah, he's still stupid, and he needs as much help as he can get. If I can give the help to him, I will. Not a problem. Was I the brightest kid in school? No, I wasn't, but that's for another episode. So I've been trying to create content, and if you've seen my oyster Kilpatrick recipe, I love the way that turned out. I deleted all the audio off the original tracks and then narrated over the top, over the video track, and it turned out nice. And I've done that with a few recipes. In some of my videos, I've not had any narration. I've used little handwritten cards. So what I want to do is, with this podcast, I'm not going to put it on iTunes. I'm not going to put it anywhere else. I'm only going to put it on this YouTube channel for you to listen to. Now, the next big announcement. This channel has been called Black Label Photography and Films. I own, run, direct, and work for Black Label Photography. It's my business. It is still my business. It will be my business. It will always be my business. But for some time now, I've thought that the YouTube channel does not have anything to do with black label photography. Why would I have so many different subjects on my channel and have them relating to my business? I don't know why I organized my channel to be related to my business. My business is verified on Google. And for anybody that needs photography services in the Canberra area, don't hesitate to contact me. You can contact me by going to www.blacklabelphotographynet.net, and I'll be happy to help you out. This channel name will be changing within the next 2 weeks. You can see by the name of the podcast, it is The World According to KP. Yes, I'm taking a bit of poetic license from The World According to Garp. Garp had one look at the world. I've got another look at the world. I have a different view of the world. I'm not going to get into politics. I'm not going to get into religion. Will I mention politics? Yes, I will. But I'm not going to give my view on what party or who to vote for. And I'm not going to push my view on religion on you. I'm just going to give an overview of that. What I will be doing is bringing up topics that sort of strike me in the heart. They might not be social. They might be sports that I like. They might be what happened, who got murdered, why did they get murdered. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but this is my first one. I'm hopefully going to get better. And let's see how we go. I would like you to listen. Anyway, so I'm recording this on Sunday, 18th September 2016. And my topic today is motorsport. In the last 2 weeks, we have had, we've had some fantastic motorsport events. And the first one I want to mention is the Goodwood Revival Festival. And wow, we saw some amazing vehicles. And thank you to Goodwood for streaming it live. I was able to watch 2 days of brilliant, historic motor racing. And I think the first one that I want to mention is we had our own Aussie Troy Corser riding a motorcycle that was 85 years old. And that was in the historic race. Sorry, anyway, I don't really want to go into the rider's name, because I grew up listening to this guy commentating, and he was brilliant. Unfortunately, on the first lap, Troy Corser down this bike. Track was wet, but he was able to get up and get running. I also thought the A30 race was just magical, and we had drivers such as Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson, We had David Coulthard, Formula One driver racing. We had Steve Soper, British Touring Car Championship racing, as well as a lot of other top touring car championships. British Touring Car Championship drivers racing. It was the most fun I've seen in a race. But the race I was talking about was the Barry Sheen Memorial Trophy. And anybody who's ridden a motorcycle or been into motorsport knows of Barry Sheen. He did things his way. He did not listen to the constabulary, for a better word, and he tried to improve motorcycle safety. But in Australia here, he was, along with Dick Johnson, the name of Shell. Now, also in the last 2 weeks, Justin, the Big Chief Shyra from Street Outlaws, has been invited into the NHRA to run in Pro Mod. In Australia, we don't call it Pro Mod, we call it Top Door Slammer. We don't run turbo cars, we don't run nitrous cars, we just run blown alcohol sedans. And what he has been able to achieve with a 455 Pontiac motor in a pro mod body is amazing. For him to be invited in and for them to accept him for who he is fantastic. He made his fame on Street Outlaws. He is still in Street Outlaws. Yes, he does still street race. But in qualifying, he was only able to achieve about a 6.3. The rest of the field that qualified, and there were 8 cars that qualified, and they, was it 8 cars or was it 16? I don't know what I mean, 16. They were running 5.8 seconds, the whole field, to go into the actual first stage, second stage finals. They were all running 5.8 seconds. And he ran a 6.3 in a full cast iron block, underpowered vehicle. Yep, I'll tip my hat to him. Absolutely brilliant. And they had a great time doing it. I've listened to their podcast and they had a great time doing it. Now, sorry if I sound a little bit weird, but yes, I am very, very tired. I have spent the last week staying up from 10 p.m. all the way till 5 a.m. And why? Drag Week. This is the one event I love every year. Drag Week. 5 days, 5 drag strips, 1,000 k's of driving, 1,000 miles of driving in between tracks, and wow, Jeff Lutz proved himself to be the star of Drag Week again. Jeff Lutz won Drag Week 2 years ago in his 57. Look, you can't call it a pro mod, but it was basically a pro mod. But he won, ran the quickest mile an hour. Last year it was George Bailey. He took the event out. This year Jeff Lutz came back in his Camaro pro mod, and wow, he had his problems. It was day 2, and a bearing seized on the spindle. It cut through the spindle basically, and they had to replace a full front upright. disc, wheel. They made it to the track on time. He goes down the track and he runs a 610.4 at 240 plus miles per hour. The quickest pass ever made in drag week. Not to mention, to win drag week, you need the quickest average. So they'll take your fastest times over 5 days, work out the average, and there's your score. He reset the fastest average ever for drag week. I think it came in at 6:14, or was it 6:18? Congrats to Jeff Lutz. Again, another guy that's been on Street Outlaws. The best story of drag week were the Aussie boys that bought a 1969 Chevelle last year from a farm. They had to drag it out of the weeds. They bought it for $1,400, and these boys consistently ran 18-second times. They seized the diff last year. They found the parts. They replaced the diff, and still went out and ran 18s every day. The thing looks like it's been dragged out of the bottom of Lake Michigan, or in our case, Sydney Harbour. So, the boys up in Queensland at Tremaine Racing, and that is the Tremaine Brothers that run Pro Stock here in Australia. They built a special little motor for him over the last 12 months. And that is a little 396 Chev, but with twin turbo. Not only did they build this beautiful little motor with turbos, but the turbos sit at about roof height of this Chevelle. They've back half the car, so full 4-link rear end, and this thing looks ostentatious. And David Freiberger from Hot Rod Magazine said this car owned the internet this week, and it did. It didn't matter what motor racing page you went to, there was a photo of this car. Facebook, well, for me on Facebook, every single automotive related website that I subscribe to featured this car. So instead of rating 18 seconds, these guys did a best of an 8.77 at 166 plus mile per hour. Not to mention the fact that they had a diff go on them halfway through, and they jerry-rigged a differential and got it going. They did well. Unfortunately, there was an SLR that was also brought out from Australia to race over there. Did not survive. But that beautiful purple HQ, wow, you've seen photos of that on the internet. We're still freewheeling all the way up until day 4. Day 5, a lot of troubles getting off the line. Didn't do so well. So hats off to the Aussies that took their time to go over and drive the race. Oh, not to mention John Ferroni from WA. He took his Charger over there. This guy's got so much bad luck. Big head problems, traction problems, time problems. But he completed drag week, and that's a huge, that's a huge thing in itself. Okay, so as I'm recording this, the Sandown 500 has just finished, and to be on the edge of my seat for a whole day, that says something. So the race starts, and we go through turn 1, and car 22, which was the James Courtney, Jack Perkins car, nudged the front end of James Golding's car, which was also James Moffat's car, and down the end of the straight, 47 seconds into the race, the front right tyre deflated. He lost control and hit the wall in the most horrific crash I have ever seen. It basically ploughed in right front, head on, rear wheels in the air. It was a crash that brought tears to my eyes. And thank God he was able to get up and walk away. Yes, his manhood area was crushed by the belts, but he was able to get up and walk away. We had dry weather, we had wet weather, we had dry weather, we had wet weather. It was crazy. Okay, so in the end, we had Garth Tander win the race with his co-driver Warren Luff. Second was Shane Van Gisbergen with his co-driver Alex Prima. Third was Will Davidson with his co-driver Jono Webb. So, a fair bit of motorsport information for you on this podcast, and I'm not going to bore you every time with motorsport news. There is so much news in the world and so many things that I want to talk about. So I'd really like you to listen in. I'm going to try and keep these things at around about the half an hour mark. If they're going to be short, they're going to be short. If they're going to be longer, they're going to be longer. That's a simple thing. I'm going to try improve the audio quality. I'm sorry if the quality of this is poor. I do need a shock mounted mic. I do not have that at the moment, and I've got some bad noise coming through my mixer. I'll try and work that out. As it is, I've had to disconnect the cooling fans from my computer because they are creating too much noise. And I'm not going to leave this image up all the time on the screen. When I do have an image I can share with you and not infringe copyright, I will. But the way things have been going with YouTube and copyright strikes and everything becoming so anal, I might not be able to put up an image that I wish. If I own an image, I'll do that. So I hope you enjoyed my first episode, as crappy as it is, but then again, all my videos are crappy. Tune in again. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Look, if you like the information I gave you today, look, just click that like button. So what? And I'll see if I can catch you around on the next episode on the World According to KP. Love yous.